Let me start by saying, this isn't a story I ever thought I'd share publicly. Honestly, I'm still not sure how I feel about telling the world what really happened, but keeping it buried has eaten me alive for long enough. Maybe this is the only way I can finally breathe again. My name is Rachel, I'm 42 years old, and I live in a quiet neighborhood just outside of Columbus, Ohio. From the outside, my life probably looks pretty normal. I have a good job working in human resources for a mid-sized tech company. I volunteer at the animal shelter on weekends, and up until recently, I was married to a man named Mark. We were together for nearly 20 years. We met in college, built a life, bought a house, even tried, unsuccessfully, to start a family. Mark is a good man, loyal, hardworking, patient, but something changed between us over the years. Somewhere along the line, we became strangers living under the same roof. The love didn't disappear all at once. It faded slowly, like color draining from an old photograph. We stopped talking, stopped laughing, stopped touching. I felt like I was with a roommate, not a husband. I told myself this was just part of being in a long marriage, that everyone went through rough patches. But deep down I felt so alone, so unseen. Then last summer, my sister Claire asked if her son Jason could stay with us for a few weeks. Jason had just turned 21 and was finishing up college. He'd landed a summer internship in the city, and staying with us would save him some money. Mark and I had a spare room, and honestly, I welcomed the idea of having someone else around to break the silence that had settled in our house like dust. Jason arrived with the energy only college kids seem to have. He was polite, smart, funny. He made me laugh in a way I hadn't in years. He'd help me in the kitchen, ask about my day, even recommend podcasts or TV shows we could watch together. I didn't think anything of it at first. I was just happy to feel noticed. But then things started to shift. We grew closer, too close. He'd compliment my outfits, linger a little too long during a hug, brush my hand when passing the salt at dinner. I told myself it was innocent, harmless. But the way he looked at me, it wasn't the look of a nephew toward an aunt. It was something else. And the worst part, I didn't pull away. I didn't stop it. I liked the attention. After years of being invisible, I felt seen again. Desirable. It was like waking up after being asleep for a long, long time. One night, when Mark was away on a work trip, Jason and I stayed up late watching a movie. We had wine. We laughed. The air between us was charged with something unspoken. I can't tell you exactly how it happened. One second we were sitting side by side on the couch, and the next we weren't just family anymore. It only happened once. One mistake. One night that shouldn't have happened. The next morning we couldn't even look at each other. I felt sick with guilt. Ashamed of what I'd done. Not just because of who he was, but because I had betrayed my husband, my vows, myself. Jason left a few days later. Claire picked him up and thanked us again for hosting him. I plastered a smile on my face and waved goodbye like nothing had happened. I thought that would be the end of it. But I was wrong. A few weeks later I got a message from Jason. It was short and terrifying. "We need to talk. I know what you did. And I need something from you." My heart dropped. I knew what he meant. He wasn't just referring to what had happened between us. He was referring to something I thought no one knew about. You see, what Jason had accidentally stumbled upon wasn't just a personal scandal. It was a secret I had kept hidden for years. A mistake I made early in my marriage, something I thought was long buried. Years ago, when Mark and I were struggling financially, I had taken out a loan in Mark's name, without telling him. It was wrong and I knew it. But I was desperate at the time, and I thought I could pay it back before he ever found out. Only Jason had found the old documents while staying in our house. And now he had leverage. He didn't threaten me, not outright. But the implication was clear. If I didn't cooperate, he'd tell Mark everything, about the financial fraud and what happened between us. I was terrified. My entire life was hanging by a thread. So I did what he asked. Nothing illegal, nothing that hurt anyone, but I became obedient. I paid for things he wanted. I helped him get into a better internship program through connections I had. I even covered part of his tuition. All under the pretense of being a helpful aunt. The guilt weighed on me every single day. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating. I pulled away from Mark even more, unable to look him in the eyes. Eventually, the tension became unbearable, and I confessed. Not everything, but enough. I told Mark about the old loan, about the betrayal, about how I'd hidden it from him. I didn't mention Jason or what happened between us, but I knew Mark sensed there was more. His face crumbled. He didn't yell. He didn't throw anything. He just looked at me with his heartbreaking sadness and said, "I don't know who you are anymore." We separated shortly after that. As for Jason, he backed off once he realized I had nothing left to give. When the power dynamic shifted, so did his tone. I haven't spoken to him in nearly a year now. I've spent the past several months trying to rebuild my life from the ground up. Therapy has helped. Journaling has helped. Time has helped. But the shame never really goes away. I'm not proud of what I did. Not just the mistake I made that night, but the years of pretending, the lies I told, the secrets I kept. If I've learned anything, it's that hiding from the truth only gives it more power over you. Sometimes the only way to take back control is to own your story, every messy, painful human part of it. So why am I telling you this now? 'Cause maybe someone out there needs to hear it. Maybe you're carrying a secret you think will destroy you if it ever comes to light. Maybe you've made a mistake so big you don't know how to come back from it. I want you to know you're not alone. You're not beyond redemption. And telling the truth, however scary, might be the first step toward healing.